story of The Turning is, well, first of all, it's based off of the novella by Henry James, The Turn of the Screw. And it's a story about a young woman, a governess in our version. She's a homeschooled sort of nanny who comes to take care of these two children that have been orphaned and are living in this sprawling estate called Bly. And as soon as she arrives, strange things start to happen. First, it's between her and the older brother character, who's played by Finn Wolfhard, and Miles is his name. And there's just a tension between them where she thinks he's playing tricks on her and creating, like, I mean, there's a few sort of pranks that are played, and just she starts to feel like he's this malevolent force, and she is very wary of him. And the movie's about her kind of trying to decipher what exactly is going on here. It was this one woman sort of journey. It felt very clear to me, and the idea of just being in this one woman's mind and piecing together like a very unstable world around her felt very challenging and interesting to me, and not like a standard horror movie. And then I love the novella. I'd read it a number of years ago in university, and I loved the way Floria and the writers were handling the story, and I thought it was an interesting time to revisit some of the themes from the book. Well, Floria is a really visual person. I mean, she thinks in images, and her ideas are so painterly and atmospheric. And I think that's a really important attribute for adapting this novella to the screen, is that it is this really internal question and trying to, I don't know, like elucidate the feeling that's going on inside, and this questioning with the world around you is something that has to happen on a really subtle visual level, and Floria is, I mean, the most perfect person I can imagine to do that. I think Floria's ideas for how to take some of the Victorian themes from the novella and turn them into something that feels necessary and sort of urgent to be retold were really interesting, especially along the lines of this sort of toxic male masculinity that's transferred down between the Quint character and a young boy, and sort of how ideas and behaviors are indoctrinated into the next generation of young men and into children, and how you can stem the flow of those sorts of bad ideas. And I loved a lot of her ideas about some of the social themes in the book. The Turning isn't a classic horror movie. It's a psychological thriller that really draws you into this house and inside people's minds and tells this really internal story and externalizes it, which I think Floria does really masterfully with the atmosphere and with using the house as like an entity in the movie, and really, you know, draws out this sort of kernel in the book of a woman's mind putting together all the things she's been seeing and speaking to herself about all the internal machinations that were going on while she was experiencing this haunting or this trauma in the house.